Good evening and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this evening. We are doing this live for a special reason this evening. I received, wait till we just make sure that to the One Celtic. I did receive an email earlier on from the Celtic Fans Collective. And the Celtic Fans Collective email did say, thank you again for the volume of emails received over the Christmas period, particularly over the last few days. We'll do our best to respond in the coming days. Hopefully, we will reorganise the depth of feeling of the collective and the wider support. We are aware that a meeting is required as a matter of urgency to discuss how we can respond to the alarming trajectory that the club is on. We are treating this with priority and exploring the most effective way to convene such a meeting as soon as possible. In the meantime, we have a home fixture on Saturday. There's a wide range of views on how we should approach this game. For many supporters, this match cannot be business as usual at Celtic Park. As a growing number are calling for a more direct action drive, and it's currently needed urgently. With that in mind, we would appreciate if you could consult your members and complete the short survey below. Please return your responses by 6 p.m. tomorrow night. Now, I will be doing this live. I will be doing a live straight after it with members only. Members only do have a vested interest in this channel, so I will do one just to get their thoughts. But this one goes out to 24,000 odd on this channel. So hopefully tonight we can get a big number on and try and see a way forward. So with that in mind, can you consult your members, and they will play an important role in shaping what course of actions supporters would like to see this weekend and beyond. Excuse me. We will provide an update at the next meeting of our members as soon as the arrangements are confirmed. Many thanks. Yes, he's still the manager. He is still the manager. There's no point in talking about that. So I'm going to read through some of the comments. Try and keep the comments to action that the club can take, that the fans can take against the club. Now, there is one that I'm big advocate of: daily action at the club. A boycott of the next game, or a walkout on, say, the 67th minute to make it iconic. A mass walkout on the 67th minute to make it iconic, and to make it that the fans know the importance, and the supporters and the board know the importance of fans. And the fact that Jock Stein said football without fans is nothing. So I'll walk out in the 67th minute. Give me your ideas in the comment section, because this is trying to get Rab. I'm doing 2 lives. If you're not a member, you don't need to be a part of the other live. I'm doing a live for the people that are members. If you don't like it, you don't need to comment about it. Please keep the comments to a constructive way going forward, please. Any genuine signings going on? No. I will go over it again. We are praying for an announcement tonight, but hit the board with hot pies. That was a damning interview by McCown. Yes, it is. Try and keep it as civil as possible, please, guys. And put in genuine thoughts on the way forward, because we want as many Celtic fans to be on this as possible. We want the views of as many fans as possible. Just putting nonsense in the comments about what are you doing fucking that for? What are you doing that for, you fucker? Isn't helpful. And I'll just ignore the comments, to be fair. I will only look at comments. Some sort of boycott, as losing money will get the board's attention. I'm going to put a poll up, and I'm going to put the top. I am going to put the top ones in a poll. And there's going to be more videos for members only. So if you don't like it, do you know what I mean? You're not a member, so I don't know why you're getting knickers in a twist. Boycott a full game with protest outside is my number one option. Let me see if we can get other options. Um, no pies. We'll need to play for them. For me, we need the carrot and stick effect with the board. We need to be balanced and taken seriously. We cannot just chuck hate. Yes, exactly. Walkout sounds the best option. I'm going to put that in. I've put in the first option is a boycott of full game with protest outside. Walkout on the 67th minute is number two. Walkout in the 67th minute. The board should listen to Martin. Too much for a packet at the superstore. Boycott any kind. I was there through the 90s. This is completely different. Since the PSC, they have a duty to all shareholders and not just one. That has to be the avenue that we look at. I think that we need. I get that, but we need to look at immediate action to try and get a response. Ultimately, for the sacking of the manager. This is where we need to go first. We need to get the managerial situation sorted out, and then, you know, tar and feather Nicholson. Start by waving red cards around like clowns did. Nah, that wouldn't work. Needs to be before half time, so nobody's there buying half time food and drink. Yeah, boycott or walk out of the stadium at a certain time. I think so. Can the boycott the club altogether? Get them out of the club before he does damage. I'm up for a full demonstration at Celtic Park. I'm just outside the main, and not just outside the main entrance. She's having a good one. It's raining today, but are you on at the same time as Celtic Sweat Mind? Or are they on? Well, I've had this scheduled for about 2 or 3 hours, and I usually go live around about this time. They normally don't go live on a Sunday night. If they are live, it's I didn't know. I don't look at other channels, to be fair. Don't buy merchandise from the club's shop. Well, Angie, we've kind of got that already in place, and allegedly the club's down £1 million. Walkout or boycott plus daily action sounds about right. I'll go with the daily action as well. Outside club. Daily action outside club. Following any walkout, you get to the front door instead, don't then let them leave. See them close up. Were there Celtic fans fighting each other at the game? Crazy. No, no, I don't think so. Half time walkout. I'm not boycotting the games or walking out for fuck's sake, says Hoggy. He obviously loves the board. Joking. Well, Hoggy, it is all about putting forward ideas. I will go through as many of the comments as I can tonight, trying to pick out good ideas. Come forward with your idea. This is what we're on about. You know, it's about getting the feeling for the entire fan base, not just a collective. Source tickets for CSC groups for the Green Brigade and the boys. I don't think boycott at the start and the end of the game. Walkout ends. That wouldn't work, James. What are the London Stock Exchange going to do? It's a PLC, it's a private run company. A complete ban on going to games and merchandise. Protest every day. Everyone walk in with cargo and scran. That's one way to do it. How do you remove a PLC board? This would be extremely difficult. You cannot remove the complete board. You cannot remove a major shareholder. You can put pressure on the club to bring about change and have a change of personnel. if you put enough pressure on, hopefully people would resign from posts because of their incompetence. And if you publicise their incompetence enough, it maybe put a bit of pressure on them. So I'm not too sure. It's like, and I don't think that I think really, and ultimately, I think that the Celtic fans collective have come to the conclusion that you will not be able to remove Dermot Desmond from his position within the club. So they're now looking at Michael Nicholson and Chris Mackay. Boycott every game until the manager's gone. Realistically, do you think there'll be enough folk? Do you think it'll be effective? And two, do you think they will actually care? Well, this was put out to 420 signatories, and the email that I got went out to 420 other organisations connected to Celtic, be it Celtic supporters fans groups, be it Celtic supporters online forums, podcasts, Facebook pages, etc., etc., etc. And that's why I'm asking the question tonight. It is all about getting the feeling of the bigger fan base. Something that you've people have been crying out for. People have been crying out. There has to be. How do we get an input? Well, they had 38,000 people voted on a thing a few months ago. That kind of had an input. I want the collective to support the whole club, including manager and board, says Michael. That's an interesting one. Do you go to games, Michael? Do people around you have the same feeling? Do the people around you have the same thought? Because I think that you're in a minority to compared to people that go to games. I'm just saying. If I was starting a Celtic player now, or Jota or CCV, and got that abuse from fans yesterday, I'd put in for a transfer. There we go. I'll wear Brendan Rodgers masks. Do our own Paradise Windfall in the car park. Yeah, you could do that. Football Insider is on live. Football Insider isn't a Celtic channel. Who cares about Football Insider? Jesus God. A boycott later than a minute. Make it earlier for the. That wouldn't make sense. Just reading some of these comments. Protest outside. Do we have that one? Daily action. Walkout in the 67th minute. Protest full game. I think you would get I think that the protesting outside for the full game, I think that you would get a bigger reaction. Anyone boycotting games is a Hun, says Ollie the Maniac. Yep, that's someone that never lived through the 1990s. I've been saying this for a year. Got pelters. If someone says it gets the same opinion. Bring us Tisdale's. Can't say that live on the air. Yeah, it's breaking news, but it's not breaking news. It's rumours. It's rumours that I got asked about. Oh look, he is live at the same time. Yeah.
Are offered
By a striker. Interesting. Well, I didn't know he was live at the same time. But anyway, we move on. We do move on because we are our own little channel and protest outside for the full game. I'm not too sure about that one. But there has been rumours doing the rounds on WhatsApp groups tonight that Wilfred Nancy's been sacked. I've never heard nothing about Tisdale, so I'm not going to say any more about that. Take control of the stadium. Mm. Fans are fighting amongst themselves, only online. Um, will there be an option for no action? Yeah, I could put an option for no action. Boycott the full game. Yeah, I'll put that as an option. I'll even put no action. This is silly. What action should fans take this weekend? So the first one is boycott of the full game, protest outside, walk out in the 67th minute. Um, Daily action outside the club, no action. This is silly. There we go. There's your questions. Vote away. Vote away. That is the questions that we have. And obviously, I will put down what ones obviously get the biggest votes. I'm going to stay on for around about 45 minutes and then I will do a live after this to people who are members. And yeah, maybe I will put in a separate membership level, and then then they'll get two different things. I mean, you'll just be a member, and then you can get a membership level where they'll get extra videos on a weekly basis. The Aberdeen manager was sacked. Yeah, I've seen that the Aberdeen manager has been sacked. People really shouldn't get stuff flung over them at football. Yeah, I know that happened in the main stand. Ban ticket sales till they change. That's not going to work. The votes, there's 101 votes in already, 103. 40% are going for boycott full game with a protest outside. Boycott the full game with a protest outside. I will go over this again tomorrow morning. Let's get some of the comments. Go to the game but face the other way the whole game. We're not Real Madrid, so that wouldn't really work. Next thing you'll be saying, wave white flags. It's a matter of time before their personal safety is at risk, in my opinion. I've never seen anything like this. The hatred is something else. Welcome to the 90s was far worse. 90s was far worse. But the level of hatred that has to be said, I think that this is why we need to take urgent steps so that it doesn't escalate. You know, throwing cups of juice or whatever over members of the all that's going to do is end up getting you kicked out of the stadium and maybe charged with some mediocre offence at a football game. You know, I think that we need to think of action that the club has to take serious. You know, and this is why there's not anything of a violent nature within what I'm suggesting. You know, boycott of the full game with a protest outside. That's maybe the best one. Walk out in the 67th minute. I think that has more effect to the club. And then daily action outside the club, 24%. Let's see. I mean, there's been 847 people on the live. I get it. People will be jumping between channels because there is another channel on. And I never knew that they were on at the same time. I wouldn't normally go on at the same time, but it's one of those things. Problem without DD going, the next board would just be down to DD again. Yes, and I've said that. And there lies the problem within Celtic Park and what we're trying to achieve as fans. And listen, I've had my head bitten off for saying that. You know, it's Dermot Desmond that's going to pick in the next bunch of people that will come into the club. He'll put them in place. But we need to make Dermot Desmond and his son aware of how the fans feel. Let's be honest, if Desmond and everything left, we would be in the worst position now. Who the fuck replaces them? I don't think that. I've said, Ollie, I've said on previous videos, the 5 times that Dermot Desmond has stood up and been counted, when he's picked up the phone and took control of a situation, he has to realise as well that the people that run the club have made mistakes over the years. And for him to allow these people to keep on repeating the same mistakes is gross negligence on his behalf. How many times do you get to make the same mistake over and over and over again? They've made various mistakes with managers over the years when Dermot hasn't picked the manager. But we're just going over old ground there. Wish people would stop saying he's been sacked when he's not. Yeah, I know. He's not been sacked, and there is nothing on. The alleged announcement is going to be in 8 minutes' time. I have got Celtic website on live, and I also have Celtic social media accounts up on screens as well live, so that if anything is, Celtic will not announce anything at 8 o'clock Celtic part time on a Sunday night. That's just crazy. They will not. It was probably Sev Conian that wanted them, that's put it out to announce. In other Celtic news, Hateo Inamura has joined FC Tokyo on loan until the end of the season. Good luck, Hateo, says the Celtic Twitter account. That is the only announcement that Celtic have made today. And then if you went on to the community tab, you would have seen that obviously Jamal Simpson-Pusey has left the club, and in a weird set of agreements have then been put in place. They have got a 5 million option to buy with a 10 million buyback option. So they're going to sell him to the Germans for 5 million at the end of this season. And if he's as good as what he turns out to be, they've got an option to buy him back at 10 million. What are Celtic doing completely wrong that they could not pick out a player? They could not bring out the £5 million worth that was in Jamal Simpson-Pusey. And I'm talking under 3 managers. I'm talking under Brendan Rodgers. What couldn't he do at Celtic that could pick out this £5 million player? Martin O'Neill wasn't given enough time. He had to make sure, although he did bring Jamal Simpson-Pusey into the squad, and then the current manager, Simpson-Pusey, is on the bench if he's lucky. Silent protest might be interesting for the entire stadium, but that's most games. There has to be an issue from the club if fans turn up in the numbers, and police are having to be consistently deployed to manage the crowds. Police are deployed to manage the crowds anyway at Celtic Park on a game day. There is nothing new there. And if fans turn up on a daily basis, it happened in the 1990s. You don't have people, and the difference between now and the 1990s is it's easier to get a bigger representation of what people are thinking on a daily basis. In the 1990s, you had to resort to game day, having meetings in game day, having good old phone, getting phone numbers for guys at game days, and then phoning people round and organising stuff that way. But yes, social media, boycott games, that's Hunt Talk, says Ollie. I don't think so, but sometimes you have to make a stance. Getting my hopes up for nothing. I woke out in the 67th minute. Well, there is a vote, so 4 minutes till the said announcement. There's nothing going to happen at 8 o'clock. It's probably fake Hun accounts online tweeting the fact that Nansen's been sacked. It's going to be an announcement at 8 o'clock on a Sunday night. rumours that go around social media and such like are just aren't helping the situation. I'm glad that everyone's listening to me about Desmond. Been saying it for long enough, says Jim McClarty. Might be old school, but won't be leaving any game early. I've just boycotted games. Wish Celtic fans would stop acting like Huns. If you're not going to put anything decent in the comment, I'll just put you on a timeout. We are trying to get chain pigeons, shite board. I'm a former season ticket holder. I'd love to go to games. I would love to pick up a ticket for Europe, but yesterday I received the club to give this club money. I think that Tommy Sheridan is part of a Celtic state of mind, so um, maybe John Paul Taylor can get some of his celebrity friends that work for Sky and stuff to come and protest. Don't know. Walk out at the first goal conceded. That'll be 5 minutes into the game then. Anyone boycotting as a Hun, right, Ollie? I'm putting you on a timeout, mate, because you're not helping at all tonight. Really, if I see any more of it, let's try and make it. I'm just going to jump through the comments now. You're spoiling it for everyone, mate. Spoiling it for people. People are now not going to get their comments read because I can't be bothered reading nonsense. Our fans are depressing as fuck. I think it's the board that are depressing as fuck. People deserve to have season tickets. We're not the problem. Stand together against the criminal boards. Yep. Sean, do you go to games? Simple yes or no will be fine. But anyway, no, we never use a 5-man player as much as skills is worth. No way, we never use a 5-man. Well, that's the deal that Jemai Simpson Pusey has managed to get from Man City. He's away to Germany. The Germans have got a £5 million option to buy with a 10 million buyback clause. I've heard Mr. Blobby is rumoured to take over from Nancy. I've a good source inside Basil Brush and Gordon the Gopher. I'll keep repeating my entourage. Man City Casper needs to have his contract terminated. Tommy's a swinger. Protest outside Dermot Desmond's business. I will keep it to the poll questions. Boycott the full game. There's 215 votes. I think the poll should include everyone. Just in front of the toilets. Said it for years. We're a sleeping giant. No progress, no ambition. Yeah. Why not get the players to get together and hand in transfer requests? There is only the players are the only ones that can get together and force the issue with the hierarchy at the club. But if the hierarchy at the club are that solely focused on taking the club in a new direction with a new manager, a new football system, and they believe that that's the way forward, they won't listen to the players. Brian Wilson's stepped down. Not on the Celtic page, he's not. And there is nothing official on any of the Celtic social media. My comments are coming up late, says Ollie. At 8 p.m. it's going to be announced that I am engaged to Margot Robbie. That's more likely. Right, come on, let's make this as serious as possible because I do want to try and get. I want to give a good representation to the email that I've got to reply to. There is an online document that has been sent to me from the Celtic Fans Collective. They obviously want to know how many people follow the channel and stuff, and following a consultation with your members, what action would you like the collective to take over the coming weeks? And instead, we're getting a lot of nonsense in the chat sometimes, compared to the severity of the situation at Celtic Park. Opinions on Calmac. I just try and keep it together. We need to stick together. Yeah, we've bid 2 billion for that. I know it's floating around the year, but you think younger fans are a bit self-entitled in aspect to just turn. It's the self-entitlement of the younger fan base is yes, I get that, and yes, they think. Listen, they grew up with their fathers complaining. A lot of these younger people that are at Celtic, a lot of these younger fans that are in their early 20s, they're in 2025. I know that when my daughters were born, Celtic were just coming into this new dawn, this new era, and they've grown up with is Celtic being pretty much successful. You've got a generation of people that have only known Celtic being successful. You've got a generation of people that do not want or do not know about how hard the 1990s were as a Celtic fan and the change that we went through. And do you know, people stopped going to games in the 1990s. People saying if you boycott today, you're a Hun. People boycotted in the 1990s in massive numbers. They voted with their feet. They stopped going to games. They forced the issue. But if you talk about it in this day and age, all of a sudden you're a Hun. I get enough Huns commenting on this and giving me abuse on this and a personal account with I have with my other half. Do you know, that has nothing to do with football. Nothing to do with football whatsoever. But the mentality of these people are to come on and give us verbal abuse on a channel that has nothing to do with football. But some people say that we are like them. We're nothing like them. And I think that doing this should be doing it publicly. Maybe we shouldn't be doing this publicly so that everybody could sit and read what we're going to do and the board could see it. Hence the reason that I'm going to be doing a live with the members of the channel to have a bit of a more serious discussion about it and a bit more personal discussion. I'm not sure I blindly agree when we act the same way as the team we slagged for acting that way. Ollie, you're not putting through, right? Tell me what you want. See the negativity that's coming across from you, saying that we shouldn't be doing this. We shouldn't. The whole reason for this video tonight is for people to put over ideas on the way forward. It's not about negative. If you don't have a good thing to say about what we should be doing, I'm old school. If you've not got nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all. Leave it to the people that have the intelligence to put forward ideas. That's what this video is about tonight. Do you know? Maybe that announcement's about Calmac away. Well, Celtic, it's 5 minutes past and there's no announcements. As I said, there would be. There will be no announcements tonight. No announcement on any social media, and the Celtic website has not updated since the manager's post-match interview. Why are fans complaining about fans and not about the board? Wake up. Yeah. Hearts and Rangers will win the league. Every supporter together has to stand together. Do a poll, guys. Do you want Wilfred Nancy out or give him time? Desmond, that's not what the poll's about tonight. It's about taking action this week. Tisdale has failed in all his previous low-level clubs. Simple answer. Protest 90 minutes outside the ground. No match day sales. That's the board out. Well, I've got that one in number 1. Boycott the full game and protest outside. Oh, look, 8 p.m. Tumbleweed. Heard Delia Smith is putting a bid in. Stevie Woods has gone and no acknowledgement from Celtic. Yeah, we knew that. Who's on Michelle's board? Roland Rat and friends. Realistically, not attending home and away games is our main option. If merchandise sales are down, boycott is our only action. Yes. But just not turning up to games at all is not beneficial to really achieving anything. If you go through to the games, if you get on your supporters' buses, if you keep supporting your supporters' club and your supporters' bus to make sure that they're financially viable, and go through to Celtic Park and protest outside Celtic Park. Within the 420 signatories, there was a massive number of Celtic supporters' clubs around the UK and the world that put their name forward to the Celtic Fans Collective. There'll be a number of buses that will say, yeah, we'll go through to the game, but we will either go in, we'll boycott after a certain minute, we'll let our, our board members know that we're not happy, and then we walk around to the front of the club. Maybe it is a case of half time, there's a mass walkout at half time. Maybe it's a case of, when an opposition goal goes in, there's the mass walkout. I don't know. This is why we're having a collective conversation. If we get rid of Nancy, should the board members blah 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 boycott outside is extreme, but extreme measures are now needed. How much you want to boycott? Going to games is people's tonic. This is talking from Ireland, where everyone meets on the boat every week. Mark, I know guys that run buses from Belfast. I know guys that run buses from Dublin. So you don't need to talk about me. You don't need to tell me about people that travel over from Ireland, because I've got a lot of vested news just on Google News. Well, your Google News is wrong. This came up on Google News. Should have come up on Sky Sports before it came up on Google. Don't listen to these rumours. Effie Ambrose, a new defensive coach. Yeah, of course he is. Your bans and timeouts don't scare me. You're just one fan. Good. Cheerio. See you later. I am just one fan. I'm no different from anybody else. And I don't need to listen to shite. I don't need to take shite online. So I just ban you. You're gone. Sorry, but that's the way it is. In my 20s, guys, I think we should boycott games 100%. 1990s fans started leaving en masse. They did that. 73-year-olds, I detest the way our club is being dragged down yet again. Exactly, bias. 1990s was murder. Every fan hold a red flare. That could go down well. Luke McCown basically said he have no idea. Yeah, the Luke McCown thing was no social back in the day. It was very different, and it was a better time. It was a better time to go to football. It's a way better time to go to football. You can go to football, you could venge your anger at games and stuff and come home and then forget about it. Although some of us worked in factories that were full of Protestants, and during the 9 in a row years, it was made very apparent that you weren't welcome within the company, even though you were told to just shut up and get on with your work. And having people threatening you and want to fight you and stuff just because you were Catholic and a Celtic supporter. Anyway, can we just boycott the club? Yep, they are that. These times are different, way different from the 90s. They were 30, 40 years ago. Times are not different from the 1990s when you talk about it like that. But anyway. Right. Let me just double check this. See where we are. Boycott boycott the stadium. We've all paid for season tickets. Yeah, I'm not saying boycott the stadium. I'm saying walking out. You have to protest at some sort. If you don't want to protest, click on the silly no action. This is silly. Don't know. 285 votes. That's not the kind of votes I was wanting. Right, I am leaving this. Baz, it all worked under. Uh, yeah, no. No idea. Right, I'm finishing this live. Give me 5 minutes and I'm going to set up a live for members only so we can have a bit of a more normal, concentrated discussion, I think.